Hey everyone, welcome back to TroutTakes, where we keep you in the loop on everything theme parks. Today we're going to take a look at some important action items that, when implemented correctly into your planning process for a trip to Universal Orlando, will give you a much better chance at having a fun and stress-free vacation instead of one filled with disappointment and frustration. Here's a list of my top 5 best Universal Orlando planning tips, and make sure to stick around to the end of the video where I'll throw in a bonus mistake you need to avoid. Number 5, download the Universal Orlando Resort app before your trip. Why before your trip? Well, it always takes a little time to get used to anything new, right? So familiarizing yourself with the app beforehand will really help save you time when you're actually in the parks and will allow you to have a much more convenient and efficient day. Seriously, this app will be your best friend during your vacation to Universal Orlando. It allows you to familiarize yourself with the park layouts, check wait times, which I compulsively do almost on a daily basis even when I'm not at the parks, purchase tickets and extras like Express Pass, and it even has mobile food ordering. Bonus tip, I'd suggest checking the wait times throughout different parts of the day a few weeks out before your trip so you can see what the ride trends are like, and that way you can come up with a good plan of attack for how you want to navigate throughout your park day. So as you can see, the app truly is an essential part to any successful Universal Orlando vacation, and trust me, you won't want to go without it. Number 4, manage your expectations for crowds. So it's no secret that theme parks are known to be crowded the majority of the time. Yet I see people consistently complaining about long waits and packed crowds as if they went into the day thinking they'd be able to just walk onto their favorite rides or grab a table right away at their favorite restaurant, which obviously are completely unrealistic expectations to have. So you need to prepare yourself mentally for the crowds, and that way it will be a bonus if the parks end up having a lighter day. And even if it is crowded, you'll less likely be disappointed since you went into the day with realistic expectations. Now, the best way to get at least a rough idea of what the crowds might be like during your visit is to utilize the crowd calendars on OrlandoInformer.com and UndercoverTourist.com. These calendars are drawn up from historical park data, and they give you crowd projections based on previous years and events. They won't be 100% accurate since they're simply projections, but I've definitely found them to be extremely helpful for planning my trips. And if you want to know more about the best and worst times to visit Universal Orlando based on crowds, I have another video where I go way more in depth and explain the ins and outs of everything relating to crowds and how they can affect other aspects of your Universal vacation. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below, and you can also click up here to watch it. Just make sure you stick to the end of this video first for that bonus mistake that you need to avoid. Number 3, pack smart for the parks. Now, when I say pack smart for the parks, I'm not just talking about what you're packing into your suitcase, but I'm talking about what you're actually packing and bringing with you into the parks. Because chances are you'll definitely want to have easy access to some of your daily essentials throughout the course of a day. So you'll most likely want to bring a backpack or some sort of bag with you. Now, what's in that bag might be different for some people, but it's a good idea to make a checklist beforehand of everything you might think you need for the day, and really take your time on this, since some items could easily be overlooked if you're in a rush. All right, guys, I have my trusty backpack here. Now, some examples of things I typically bring with me are portable phone battery chargers. Can't have enough of those. Last thing you want is your phone dying throughout the day. Ponchos in case of rain. Portable snacks like some protein bars, granola bars, or little bags of nuts. And my contact solution, my contact case, my glasses case, and even extra contacts, just in case I feel like putting those in instead of putting the glasses on. And even portable packs of dude wipes. These obviously aren't the portable packs here, but in case nature calls, you're gonna want these in your bag. It's a good idea to have them. Hashtag not a sponsor. So if you think about it, you might end up realizing you need a lot more throughout the day than what you would have initially thought. And the last thing you'd want is to get caught in a routine Florida afternoon rainstorm without anything covering you up. So take your time with that packing list. Number 2, have a budget in mind. you're already spending a good chunk of change on your park tickets, hotel, and other vacation basics. And you know it can be a bit of a struggle at times dealing with the heat, the crowds, and the wait times. The last thing in the world you need at that moment is the added stress of worrying about how much money you're spending in the parks and feeling like you have to pinch every penny. So make sure you sit down and know what you can and can't afford once you're there, because food is typically going to be a significant cost, and things like souvenirs or even express pass can add to the overall cost super quick. At the end of the day, if your budget ends up being a bit tight after doing the math, there's no shame in holding off the trip for a little while until you have a more comfortable amount saved up. Because after all, it isn't truly a vacation if all you're thinking about is money, right? And that's the main goal here, to have as much fun as possible on your vacation. Now, real quick before we get to my number one tip, just a reminder to stick around for that bonus mistake you need to avoid. And if you're enjoying the video, do me a huge favor, guys, hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel, as it all helps with the YouTube algorithm and allows this content the ability to reach a larger audience. Thanks in advance, and now on to my number one tip. Number one, stay on property. To put it plain and simple, you're going to want to stay on property at Universal in order to truly maximize your vacation experience. Why? Well, for starters, the hotels are great in and of themselves, and more importantly, their pricing is outstanding. Don't bother trying to find a hotel in the area with better overall value, because you'll be wasting your time. Guests staying on site get a ton of perks, starting with the fact that you can walk to the parks from most of their hotels. And free transportation is offered to and from the parks at each hotel in case you don't feel like walking. Not having to pay for regular parking at the parks in itself is a savings of $27 per day, which is a nice perk. But one of the main reasons you'll want to stay on site is that you'll get 1 hour of early park admission, or EPA for short, which means you'll be able to enter the parks an hour before the parks actually open to the public. You'll absolutely want to take advantage of EPA if you're looking to pack in as much fun as you can, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan, since the Wizarding World areas in both parks are typically the main areas that are open during EPA. That extra hour can really come in handy, since the Wizarding World areas are always the most crowded throughout the day. So you really get a chance to take it all in without standing shoulder to shoulder with a sea of humanity. The last perk I'll mention is that you get free unlimited express pass for everybody in your party if you stay at one of the 3 premier hotels, which are Loews Portofino Bay, Hard Rock Hotel, and Loews Royal Pacific. Now, granted, these hotels are going to be more expensive, but unlimited express pass can cost up to $320 per day during the busiest times of years. So that's a crazy value they're giving you for free. And the best part is you'll be able to have more fun in the parks, since your wait times will be lower for most rides. Overall, I think you'd be crazy not to stay on property if you want to have the best trip possible. So there you have it, my top 5 best Universal Orlando planning tips. But if you remember, I told you I'd throw in a bonus mistake to avoid, and I'll even give you a 2-for-1. So the 2 mistakes you need to avoid are waiting in line to buy tickets and food. A lot of people, believe it or not, waste a ton of time waiting in line at the front gate to buy their park tickets. This can sometimes even take hours. Just do the easy thing and buy your tickets online beforehand. It'll save you a lot of unnecessary headaches. And with food, all you have to do is get on your handy Universal app that I talked about early in the video, and simply use their mobile food ordering feature. It allows you to place an order in ahead of time, so when you're ready to eat, you just have to go grab your food from the pickup spot. After all, I'm sure you'd rather spend your park time more wisely than waiting in line 30 minutes for a slice of pizza. So there you have it, guys. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed the video and haven't already, go ahead, hit the thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel for more theme park news, tips, tricks, and adventures. As always, I've been Mike with TroutTakes, and we'll see you guys soon.